Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks. I saw 2 movies this weekend, so you'll be getting a double whammy reviews, starting with The Running Man, which I was very disappointed by. While I've never read the book or seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, I was still really curious about this movie. I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright, my favorites being Scott Pilgrim and Baby Driver, so it was unfortunate to see this movie not live up to expectations. There are some good things about it. I really like the action sequences. Those contain the same style and energy that you see from most of Edgar Wright's films, and they're really fun, well choreographed, and they're staged and put together very well. I also really liked Glenn Powell's performance. I think he brought a lot of energy and passion to the role, and Coleman Domingo is just chewing up the scenery. He was just so entertaining in this movie, and there's some essence of Edgar Wright here and there with some of the editing and style, but it felt very lacking in that department. With his movies, there's a lot of energy, they're fast moving, but here it felt really slow and took a lot of its time. You didn't see much of Edgar Wright's footprints on here. It doesn't surprise me that a lot of people confuse this with The Fall Guy, and the movie is also surprisingly not very funny. I barely laughed at all throughout the film. I didn't really care for much of the characters or the situations that Glenn Powell got himself into, and while I did appreciate the message, and I think it's definitely a very topical movie right now, I don't think it was executed very well. It wasn't subtle in the slightest and felt very forced and on their nose, so I think the message could have been executed better. And while I did enjoy the climax, I think they definitely stumbled with ending the movie, because yeah, I just don't think they stuck the landing here. If they stuck the landing, I think it would have made for a really solid climax and resolution, but it just didn't work out. So ultimately, one of the bigger disappointments of the year for me. I didn't hate it. It's not horrible. I found it to be entertaining, mostly through the message, the action sequences, and the performances by Glenn Powell and Coleman Domingo, but ultimately this just felt like a pretty generic, basic action movie you would see. And then I saw In Your Dreams, which actually wasn't too bad. I don't think it's great or amazing, but I was pleasantly surprised given my low expectations going into it. I really liked the brother-sister dynamic. I found the characters to be really likable, and they played off of each other very well, and the actors did a great job portraying them. I really liked their conflict and seeing them try to, make their dreams come true. I also think the movie was surprisingly funny. A lot of the jokes landed for me, and the funniest jokes came when the movie wasn't afraid to get really absurd and weird with its humor. That's when I think the movie was its funniest, and I think it handled the subject matter of two kids struggling with the idea of their parents maybe separating pretty effectively. Not a masterpiece, not amazing. I've seen it done better in other things like Big City Greens, but the way it's handled here, I thought it was done well enough given the subject matter. And I think some of the emotional beats actually felt earned and earnest. There's some sweet moments here and there that actually not made me cry or anything, but actually got me to care about what was going on. But I still think some problems affected the enjoyment for the film. While some jokes landed, there were a lot of stinkers that held the movie back, a lot of juvenile, lowbrow comedy here and there, especially from one character who I found to be pretty annoying and useless throughout the movie. I also think that the movie spends a bit too much time out of the dreams. I understand it wouldn't make sense for this story to take place through one continuous dream, but I don't know. I feel like, for a movie about dreams, you would spend more time in the dreams, and again, some of the best moments were occurring in the dreams. And I do think the film struggled with setting itself apart from other animated movies. There's going to be a lot of comparisons to Pixar, and I honestly found this to be very similar to some other Netflix movies like Over the Moon and Orion in the Dark. So I think the movie needed to identify itself a bit more to stand out from other animated movies. But overall, I found it to be a pretty cute, harmless little family film. It's not a masterpiece. It's definitely on the lower half of where I would rank animated films this year, but I still found it to be enjoyable, and if you got nothing better to do with the kids, I'd say go watch it. I think they'll enjoy it. And those were my thoughts on Running Man and In Your Dreams. What did you guys think of either of these movies? Do you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? If you've seen both of them, which one did you prefer? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.